And now, Houston Real Estate Radio.
Welcome back to Houston Real Estate Radio. All of our shows are recorded. We make videos of them, so you can watch those over at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com anytime. If you missed the show on Sundays at 1 o'clock when we air on the radio, you can go back and watch the videos, and you can also catch us over on iTunes. So today, James and I have Dr. Jim Gaines Skyping in with us and joining us on Skype, so we can see him, although you may not be able to see him if you're on the radio, if you're listening to the radio. He is with the Texas A&M University's Real Estate Research Center. And last segment, we talked a lot about coming kind of a view from the national level. So I think this segment, we should focus more on Texas and how the economy's going here in Texas. What do you think?
Oh, it's going great. Texas is actually is probably the leading state in the country. Well, there's North Dakota and Wyoming are doing great because of the Bakken field up there. All 50 people up there are employed, so they're doing great. Now, I don't mean to joke about it, but it's the scale is so much different. But Texas is doing so much better. Our rate of growth of employment growth is about 2.5%. compared to the national rate of about 1.4. Houston has even been doing better than that. Houston has been the leading job-creating metropolitan area in the United States for the last couple of years, mainly because of the strength, of course, in the oil and gas sector and the energy sector, as well as healthcare and some of the others that are there. The real estate markets across the state are all doing very, very well. Sales are up. At the state level, about 16% for the year 2012 over 11.
Good. And 13 is going to be better.
and Houston was actually up better than 17%, so it was a little bit better than the state average. Home prices across the board, as we measure it by the median home price, statewide was up about 6%. In Houston was up about close to 7%. Activity level high. New construction coming on the ground. Still don't have a whole lot of speculative building, but the number of new homes being built we can now say that home building market is recovering in the present tense and in the active voice, where it's been flat for the last 2 or 3 years, and that's very important for the economy.
Absolutely.
Now, we've had an increase or a spike in rental housing. How is the rental market statewide?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know about stabilizing because a lot of the population growth that's going on in Houston right now, and incidentally, Harris County had the greatest population increase of any county in the United States between 2010 and 2011. It was a phenomenal amount of growth, and a lot of those people are coming in, and of course, when they first come in, they're renters. So that rental market, both for multifamily rental, condo rental, single family detached rentals, has been very, very strong. Rents are up, occupancy rates are up. Mm-hmm. And the irony is as those rents and occupancy rates stay strong, it's an inducement for people to go into the owner-occupied market and go buy a house because, as we were talking earlier, interest rates are still attractive. The prices are still attractive, despite the fact they went up 6 or 7%. They're up, but still from relatively lower levels. So it's a cumulative market here, both on the rental and the owner-occupied side.
Tell us about raw land sales across the state. I know that there were quite a few people last year who were in a scramble to sell off their large tracts of land to avoid capital gains taxes that were increasing.
Right. The prospect of higher capital gains taxes, if you were in that market play, that was going to be a compelling factor, maybe the decider if you were going to be in the market as a seller. The other side of that coin is, though, there's tremendous amount of growing demand for land because, quite frankly, land and fixed asset real estate is one of the few investments right now around that's still attractive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Both from a price standpoint and a return standpoint, and some degree of confidence over the next few years that the prices will even grow higher. As you know, here at the Real Estate Center, we have an area that specializes in rural land sales, and Dr. Charlie Gilliland here is our expert in that. And I can tell you that the prices in 2012 were up markedly for agricultural and rural land and the pre-development land, the land just beyond where the immediate development's going on, but out in the hill country, Washington County, all throughout Texas, really, there's been growing demand for land, and the prices are beginning to show it. It's one of the, again, if you've got capital, if you've got money, and there was a lot of money being made in the oil and gas sector, the Eagle Ford Shale created a lot of millionaires down through there. And one of the things they didn't know is where to put their money. And they've been putting their money in the land, among other things.
Are you seeing very many international buyers coming in? James and I were talking, we've talked with a realtor from Las Vegas and also from Miami, and they see a lot of international buyers coming in. What do you think?
Yeah, we're seeing that, or we're hearing about it. I can't say we're seeing it because there's no hard data on that.
Okay.
The only time a foreign buyer has to register, if you will, is if they buy agricultural land. USDA requires them to say something about it. But other than that, you most of the time you don't really know that much about the buyers as a demographic group. There's another group, not only foreign, but the hedge fund investment funds are raising. Blackstone and several other investment funds are spending right now literally billions of dollars around the country and also here in Texas buying single family homes and buying land. So it is one of those, as I was saying just a second ago, it's one of the investment appeals. Real estate is an investment appeal, not only land, but just coming in and buying up distressed homes, investment buying of single family and multifamily properties is now a big time operation.
What are you seeing as far as short sales and foreclosures? I mean, to me, it seems like there's been a slowdown of foreclosures and short sales, and I know the local MLS is indicating that as well. Is that statewide?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The foreclosures statewide are down for the second or third year in a row.
So
by
it's
a
just
considerable
going away. I mean, it's getting better and better.
Well, it's getting better. There's 2 or 3 reasons for it. Number one, the lenders, the banks and the lenders are figuring out that foreclosures, they lose more money on a foreclosure than they do a
They
short
finally
sale
figured that
or a loan modification or a refinancing. So quite frankly, not only is the government actually requiring them to do modifications and refinances, they've figured out that it minimizes their losses rather than going through the route of foreclosure.
Right.
Number two, our economic downturn wasn't as bad, so we didn't have as big a problem in the first place.
Yeah.
The foreclosure issue wasn't that big. And being a non-judicial foreclosure state, it was easier to go ahead and process the foreclosures and get them out of the way and get them done. So we've done it. We've simply been there, done that, and are moving forward. And thirdly, because home prices are increasing, if you are in trouble with your property, if you think you're going to go into foreclosure, you now have the opportunity to sell it and get out from under it. Fewer people are underwater or not as underwater as they were. So just selling the property is a viable alternative now than to go through all the distress sale and a foreclosure.
That's very true. Do you now, just I guess looking through your crystal ball, what parts of the state do you see as bargains for an investor if you were coming to the state from outside the state or outside the country? Where would you see the places where the prices are unusually low?
Well, most of the people that are coming to the state of Texas right now are going to the urban centers because they're being attracted by where the jobs are being created. So they're coming here to Houston or the Houston metro area. Now, when I say Houston, we're talking about, a multi-county area. They may wind up located in Montgomery County. They may be down in Brazoria County, Fort Bend. They're all over. And they are, and as you know, the markets are so localized that you can find within Harris County, even within the city of Houston, you can find individual subdivisions and neighborhoods and so forth with very attractive pricing. This is especially true for people moving here from California, from New England area, New York, New Jersey, Delaware. They come here and they're amazed at the price of housing. Even what we think is more expensive, to them, it's not expensive at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell you Austin is attracting a lot of people from California because of the high-tech industry over there. Some of the communities down in the Eagle Ford Shale, quite frankly, are now trying to get people to stop moving there because they don't have any place to put them. They're living in FEMA trailers and all kinds. I mean, can you imagine that you can get, $800 a week for one bedroom in rent.
Wow. No.
Yeah. And that's just the bedroom in the unit. And the unit might have 4 bedrooms in it.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad we have a good outlook for spring. It sounds like you recommend someone who's on the fence about selling, you would go ahead and recommend them to sell in the spring. It's going to be good.
But most definitely consider it. I mean, obviously everybody's in individual circumstances of whether they have to, want to, whatever. But there is no reason now to hold back. When we had a deflationary expectation, when you thought prices were going down and values were going down, you didn't want to sell.
Right.
But now expectations have reversed, and now we're back to thinking prices are going to go up. So if you're a buyer, you want to buy because you think they're going up. If you're a seller, yes, now you're considering selling. Now, the timing of that is up to the individual.
Sure.
But yeah, we are looking for a strong 2013 in Houston. We're looking for it across the state as well.
Jim, thank you for coming on, and I hope you'll come back.
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure.
I'm James Brown.
And I'm Shannon Register.
And you're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Shannon and I will be right back after this word from our sponsor.